I just think this is not only such a celebratory event for Rockland County, not only for the LGBT community, but the entire community, that it just fills my heart with real joy that you have all come together to make this happen. Every single one of you. And I'm hoping that the center provides the kind of gathering place that will attract people who don't even know they need to be here, but who will find their way here and will be given the support and the access to services and understanding that every human being deserves. So thank you for having me be part of this, and I'm incredibly honored to have this hall named for me, and especially in the name of social justice. There's too many people to thank, so nearly everybody's been introduced, but I do want to acknowledge my old friend Harriet, who's there. Thank you, Harriet. The doctor, thank you. But I first came to Rockland County 20 years ago, running for the Senate. There are still people like Paul and Mary Adler and others who were with me then, and I remain forever grateful. But what you're doing here really is special. Building a center that can represent the goal of equality and social justice. I especially want to acknowledge and thank Montefiore Nyack Hospital because 1,800 staff members have raised their hands and said they want to learn how better to serve LGBTQ patients. And it's hard to overstate what a difference that will make. To know that when you walk into a world-class health center, that you will be taken care of. You will be welcomed, affirmed, and valued, no matter who you are or who you love. I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment that I hope is viewed as a real model for hospitals, not only throughout New York, but throughout our country. You know, we are living in challenging times. I listened to the wonderful opening remarks by the rabbi, and it was so filled with optimism and joy about the path forward. Wandering for 40 years, you finally end up in Rockland County. It makes for such a great story. But I will say, Rabbi, that remember, you know, at Mount Sinai, when Moses goes up to get those tablets, and he doesn't come back for a while, what happens? They form a Back to Egypt committee. I mean, just think about it. They've been liberated. They've seen the Red Sea part. You know, they've watched the Pharaoh's charioteers drown. They're free. And they get to Mount Sinai and they start kvetching. I mean, think about it. It just goes to show. It's like, you know, one step forward, a half a step back. You cannot ever rest. You have to remain vigilant, because right now there is a lot of Back to Egypt type folks. Turn the clock back, shut the doors, take away the rights, forget about what it is we as human beings should be striving for, not only as citizens, a more perfect union, but as people, opening our arms and our hearts to one another. You know, in her poem, Dreams Before Waking, Adrienne Rich wrote, "What would it mean to live in a city whose people were changing each other's despair into hope? You yourself must change it. What would it feel like to know your country was changing? You yourself must change it." This is not anybody else's job but ours. And as upset and anxious and stressed out as people are right now, and I bear witness to that. I mean, there's not a 48-hour period that goes by that someone doesn't come up, throw their arms around me, and start sobbing. Honestly, Simona, I should get my license. I really should. But what I tell them is we've got to keep going. You cannot be discouraged or despairing, because that just is a signal that what we thought we believed and what was worth fighting for has been diminished. And we cannot afford that. You all today are proof that America is still, at our best, a welcoming place, a country where we do celebrate our diversity and where we do love our neighbors, even when they are unlike ourselves. And I loved Marla singing, the fight song, because I hope you all still have a lot of fight.
Yeah.